What's up, guys? It's your boy 6.0 Gal. Welcome back to the channel. First and foremost, I'd like to apologize for the lack of content that I haven't been really uploading over the past week, and I have a really good excuse for that. It's just kind of a decent excuse. But for those guys that do live in California, specifically SoCal, Los Angeles, Orange County area, everything's pretty much open now. So the gyms are open, restaurants are finally open. Everything's finally getting a little bit more normalized back to our daily routines. So I've been taking advantage of that. I went to a few restaurants with my boy Rush, enjoyed that. It's definitely nice to pretty much just go out and enjoy normal life. So we really haven't been able to do any of that over the past few months. Pretty much been quarantined, everything's closed. So it's been a little depressing over the past few months, not gonna lie. Pretty much the Hellcat has been what's been keeping me entertained pretty much during this whole quarantine thing. If I didn't have the Hellcat, I'd honestly be pretty damn depressed, to be honest. But my body is sore as fuck. I've been going to the gym. I haven't gone in like months, and to kick your body back into that state, it's pretty hectic. So I'm definitely a little bit sore. My legs are kind of wobbly. Got these little chicken legs here. But anyways, I kind of wanted to talk today about something that has been on my mind over the past few weeks, ever since I installed this certain part of my car. And that part is actually my B Woody intake. So for those guys that have watched my previous video, I installed a B Woody intake. I'll link that video in the description down below. But anyways, I installed a B Woody intake about I think it's been around 2 months now, actually. That was the first performance mod, I guess, if you would consider like a cold air intake a performance mod. But I installed this bad boy about 2 months ago, and it completely woke up the car as far as the supercharger goes. The whine is like 10 times louder. And that's pretty much the main reason why I got this intake, was because the supercharger whine was not loud. Now, for those guys that have been following me on Instagram, I had my old Hellcat, and on that Hellcat I had the leg maker intake. So the leg maker intake definitely made the car whine a lot more. The B Woody is definitely on another level. So the B Woody makes it whine much louder than the leg maker ever did. So here's where the story starts. A few days ago, it's been really hot here in California, by the way. Over the past few days, we've hit like record number, like 100 degrees on like a normal day. So it's pretty crazy, the temperature that's going on here in California. So I've been driving in this car around one of those days, and my intake air temps, I decided to check it because the supercharger whine is not as audible if the temperature is really hot. So if the intake air temps is really hot, the supercharger whine won't be as loud. And I can tell when I'm driving too that the car isn't responding too well because it's so hot. So the reason being, my intake air temps, I checked it and it was at 170 degrees. So I was like, oh my God. So for those guys that do not know, if your engine gets heat soaked from your intake or whatnot, it pulls timing. The computer pretty much pulls timing, and it decreases your power. So your power levels, which obviously no one wants that. So unless you're just like a Karen that thinks these cars have too much horsepower. But anyways, so that really started worrying me. So I started looking into intakes and like stuff like that. I talked to my boy Sith Lord Chamba, for those guys that do know him. He used to have an old Hellcat. He had a Trackhawk, and now he has a Demon. He just got it back from Addiction Motorsports. But anyways, he was talking to me, and he was saying that if you take your car to any reputable shop, and you want to do like a Pulley E85, they will. And if you have like a B Woody, if you have an open air intake, so by open air I mean if it doesn't come with a heat shield or anything, then they will most likely tell you to get a JLT intake. So for those guys that don't know, I'll put up a picture right now. But the JLT intake, it's pretty much a covered intake. So it's still an open air intake, but it comes with a heat shield around it, similar to the ones that the Demons come with, or the Red Eyes, or the new Hellcats. They come with a cold air intake, but it has a heat shield around it. Pretty much that prevents like the heat from the engine to enter the intake. So it just pulls cold air pretty much from in here into here, and then there's a heat shield right around here that prevents everything from heating up and pretty much heat soaking your car. So I've been really debating getting a JLT intake and swapping out the B Woody. No disrespect to B Woody, the B Woody intake is absolutely crazy, but if you're gonna get a car to mod it up, I would definitely reconsider. If you're getting a B Woody, definitely get a leg maker. So the leg maker, let me tell you something about the leg maker. So the leg maker is carbon fiber, is true carbon fiber, which means it's really cool. So when I drive this car around and it's hot, and if I touch the intake, it's like, it'll burn my hand for sure. The leg maker intake, because it is carbon fiber, it does not, you know, it doesn't heat up as much as like this metal. I don't know if it's metal, I don't know what kind of material it's made out of, but it's definitely something that heats up pretty quick. So the JLT intake pretty much has a heat shield around it, like I said, which prevents the car from heating up with the intake air temps. So I've definitely been debating getting a GLT intake instead. So we're gonna go ahead and go for a little drive. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the intake air temps. It's really nice weather out today. It's around like 75 right now, so not too hot. Pretty nice weather out here in Southern California. But we're gonna go for a drive up the canyons. I'm gonna show you guys the intake air temps that the B Woody gives off with no heat shield or anything. So the B Woody intake did come with not really a heat shield. I would say it came with like a rain shield that pretty much goes over. It's like a metal piece that goes over it, just in case you know, it starts raining or whatnot. You don't want to get the intake wet for sure, the filter at least. So but yeah guys, so that's been my dilemma that I've been dealing with over the past few days. I don't know if I should drop that kind of money again on just an intake. And we're actually going to go over, is an intake even worth it? Is a cold air intake even worth it? So I definitely think this is a very important video for you guys if you're looking at getting a cold air intake. Not only if you have a Hellcat, but RT, SXT, Scat Pack, 392 models. Definitely this is going to be an informative video for you guys to see. Is a cold air intake even worth the hassle? Is it worth a few $100s that it does cost? So I've been talking a lot, I've been rambling a lot, but we're gonna go ahead and go for a drive. Let's go ahead and start the car. Haven't started the car in a few days, so nice to see this little cold start with this stock exhaust. Start her up. Broke his neck there. Alright guys, so my intake air temps right now, they're about 111, 113. It's not too bad considering the fact that it is 70 degrees outside. But anyways, we're going to go up for a little drive with the canyons. We're going to try to catch this beautiful sunset before it goes away. We got about like 30 minutes to get to the top, and we will make it if this car picks up the pace a little bit instead of going all fucking slow. But anyways guys, so back to the topic at hand, which is the cold air intakes. Is a cold air intake worth it? So for the Hellcat specifically, the Hellcat airbox, let me say, is engineered to be like the best intake ever. It's honestly, the engineers did such a great job creating the Hellcat airbox, because it's literally just a tunnel of cold air straight from the headlight into the engine, and it does an absolutely wonderful job of people just breaking their necks, man. So the inlet tube that leads the Hellcat airbox, I will say probably the best bang for your buck that you can do. I know my boy Rush Shift has the Hellcat airbox on his side boot, his SRT 392, and I mean, a lot of you guys think that his car is like modified or whatnot, but it actually is stock, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the airbox actually does create a good tunnel of cold air leading straight to the engine. Sorry guys, can't resist that little whine. We got some room to play with here. So in my honest opinion, if you don't have a Hellcat, now I will say the only reason why I got this intake in the first place is because it amplifies the supercharger whine tenfold. It makes the supercharger whine like 10 times louder, and honestly I'd pay that $400 again just to make that supercharger whine much louder. Now I know everyone has their own opinion. I've seen a few guys in the comment section saying that the supercharger whine is just unbearable. Why did you make it louder and blah blah blah? And honestly, everyone's entitled to their own opinions, but for me, this is my car, this is how I like it. I love the whine. I love how loud it is. I love how much attention it gets, the amount of necks it breaks. Honestly, it's just like, I wish for once that I wasn't a car guy, so I could just, you know, hear a Hellcat with supercharger whine and think, what the honest fuck is that? It honestly sounds like SpaceX is launching a fucking rocket ship on the streets or something. And it's just like, never get enough of that supercharged sound. But yeah, anyways, so as I was saying with the Hellcats, that's pretty much the only reason why you should get an intake. Besides that, the Hellcat airbox does an astounding job of making sure that nothing but cold air goes into the engine bay. So that's pretty much my only thing with the Hellcats. Now, as far as the Scat Packs, SRT 392s and below, so the RT, SXT, and the GTs, they don't come with a Hellcat airbox. Only the Hellcats come with it, obviously. If I were going to go to the route of getting a cold air intake, like an aftermarket one, like Mopar sells an aftermarket cold air intake, an open one, as well as like Canon, all these different ones. Even Legmaker has them, not only for the Hellcat, but they have them for the SRT models as well. So now, if I was you, and I was gonna pick between, if I didn't have a Hellcat, so say I had like a 392 or an RT, and I was debating whether to get a cold air intake or just do a Hellcat airbox, my honest opinion, just stick with the Hellcat airbox. Not only is it cheaper, the Hellcat airbox, I believe it's like $100, so it's just nothing compared to the cold air aftermarket intakes that cost up to $300, $400. I mean, for the B Woody intake, I paid $450 with tax and everything. So it is expensive. The intakes are expensive. They're not cheap. If I were you, just save that few $100 that you would have spent on a cold air intake and just get a Hellcat airbox, guys. It serves the same purpose. You're trying to get more cold air into the engine. Not only is it cheaper, but it's a more solid way of sticking with just pure cold air going into the engine versus an open air intake, which if it's on a hot day, it's going to heat soak, and you just don't want to deal with those problems that I'm currently dealing with on a hot day. I mean, seeing your intake air temps at 170 degrees just kind of like and honestly, like, I was like, what the fuck? I've never seen intake air temps that hot before. On like a 90-degree day, we were just cruising on the freeway and it was getting that hot. Sorry guys, can never resist the tunnel. Got another one coming up right now. Oh no, what the hell? What's up with all this smoke? Looks like someone just did a burnout here. Oh shit, someone did do a burnout. You can smell the burning rubber. Who the hell did a burnout here? Oh, it must have been this Mustang. He just pulled off. Oh yeah, anyways guys, as I was saying, I'm getting a little bit off track with everything that's going on in my surroundings right now. But if I were you guys, just save your money, get a Hellcat airbox. That would be my final answer for you guys. Save your money. You don't want to spend that extra few hundred. You can spend that on something else. Do another modification to the car, get a thermostat like I said earlier in my previous video. Do something else, guys. The Hellcat airbox, it's great. It's a good bang for your buck. Focus on your performance. If you're into that kind of stuff, if you're into just, you know, looks, if it's a show car, then that's different. But if you're looking at getting the best performance out of your car, stick with the Hellcat airbox. Now back to my little situation that's going on with my B Woody intake. Someone did message me regarding the B Woody intake with a heat shield. So what he actually did was he bought a GLT intake and took off the heat, pretty much took the heat shield from the GLT and put it around the B Woody intake. Now that's pretty nice. It's definitely actually pretty cool having a B Woody intake with the heat shield. Now the only thing is I don't want to pay for another intake, so I'm trying to find out if anyone sells just the heat shield for it. And honestly, I was looking around trying to find the Demon intake or the Red Eye intake, or I believe that even the new Hellcats have that intake. So they have an open air intake, but it's enclosed with a heat shield, and it honestly looks pretty badass. I'll show you guys a picture right now. But that intake looks so aggressive on the Red Eyes. It's such a huge intake. It like covers the whole throttle body. I mean, the little port leading to the throttle body is just massive, and it makes it look so much more aggressive. Honestly, if I can get my hands on one of that, I need to get the part number. If it's a decent price, I'm willing to spend that kind of money to get that intake, because I think it would be really badass to have that in the Hellcat Daytona. I don't believe anyone else has done that as well. So that's going to be something else that I do want to add to my mod list before I start modifying this car heavily, is do that, because you definitely don't want to have an intake with high, high intake temperatures. It's just going to pull timing and heat soak your car, and that's the last thing you want, especially when you're modified. You want nothing but cold air going into your engine, because, you know, modified engines, you want to make sure the car is running very cool. So that's pretty much all I have on that matter, but we're just going to go cruise right now. I'm done talking. We're just going to enjoy this beautiful view. If these two little fucktards get out of my way, and we can start driving. I'm trying to get up to the sunset, so... Alright guys, but we are pretty much at the top of Mount Baldy. The ski lifts are just right up there. Decided taking this nice little view that we have. The sunset's like right over there, so nice little tone. But anyways guys, I'm gonna end this video right here. Hope you guys did gain some good knowledge on the cold air intakes. I hear a turbo coming down. But yeah guys, if you did like the video, please like and subscribe. Also drop a comment down below. Let me know what videos you guys want to see in the future. Oh my god, that's a NSX, huh? Nice. But anyways guys, I will see you in the next video. Have a great day. And I actually got a me and Rush raced in a with his new Whippled Mustang. It went on E85, so we got to run in. That video is going to be coming tomorrow, so after this video gets posted. Today's Tuesday, so this video will be posted on Wednesday. Racing will be posted on Thursday, so stay posted for that, and I'll see you guys in the next video.